I used to stutter. Yeah, I used to stutter. I had such a bad stuttering problem. It was debilitating. It was excruciating. It was preventing me from living my best self. And today I want to talk about what does it mean to go from a journey of being able to not even speak to more than one person at a time to basically go through a process of change, a process of becoming more than what you thought you would be at that particular time, and get to a point where I can speak to you, all of you, uh, and really give you the perspective that it can be possible. Hi, and welcome to another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories. I'm Dr. PK, and today I am in sunny South Africa. Amazing! It's been a couple of years since I've been back. Some of you might not know this, but I've lived in South Africa for a lot of years. I came here when I was about 11. I left when I was in my mid-30s to move to Germany. So South Africa is my second home, and I'm really excited to be back. So it's really exciting to speak about some really sensitive topic, which is kind of the inability to express yourself, stuttering, and how does it impact your confidence, and the stories that we can learn from people that have inspired me over the years. That, in my view, I believe can be relevant to this episode, that hopefully can bring value to you. So let me give a bit of short kind of history on myself. Those who haven't watched the previous episode on kind of why we struggle with confidence, you can click, basically in the icon above, and you'll be able to watch that episode. And I appreciate all those who have given me their feedback and their comments on why confidence is such a big problem in our society, especially in the tech industry, and really give us a perspective of how we can, support one another and really ensure that we're able to really conquer those fears and understand what's needed to be able to become more confident and to become more appreciative of the things that we have all around us. So basically, I've had a childhood where I've struggled to gain acceptance from especially my father. I've always had a sense that it wasn't really, I wasn't good enough, or I was deemed to be less than what I thought I was. And that created a cycle of rebellion from my side and created a cycle of oppression on his side. And he went through his stuff. I went through my stuff. I don't blame him. I love my father. It's his birthday tomorrow. So I love him so much, and I'm appreciative of all the things he's done for me. And he's the reason why I'm an engineer today. And I'm striving to live and live up to him, really, of all the things that he has done for me. So I don't want you to get the wrong impression that my father and I were in a bad space. But at the same time, I know that because of the history and my background, that caused me to stutter. That caused me to feel a sense of, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I can't speak confidently in front of people. Why is that? And because of that, it has really allowed me to kind of introspect and realize what has actually happened since then till now, where I can be in front of you confidently speaking and giving a sense of my progress and why have I made such huge strides to be able to overcome my stuttering. So let's try and pack two examples that I have today that kind of give context into, I believe, my journey. The first one is a biblical character called Moses. Moses was such an amazing character for me to reflect on because Moses was a slave. He was a baby of slaves. He grew up under oppression. He grew up under kind of the cloud of not being worthy. And yet he was taken up by Pharaoh's daughter and essentially grew up there. Now the story goes, of course, he killed a soldier, he ran away, but then God told him to go back. And I think that's where I want to focus on. And Moses, essentially what he did was that he basically started giving excuses to God on why he was not able to really go back and do what God has asked him to do. Now, it's very important to understand that a lack of confidence and stuttering and in being able to speak to people is a way of giving an excuse. Stuttering is basically a sense of saying, I don't I don't know what to say. And because I don't know what to say, I'm not able to say it. And because I'm not able to say it, I confirmation bias, that I don't know what to say. And Moses was given all sorts of different reasons why he was able to do what God has asked him to do. But yet at the same time, he kept on giving excuses of why he was not good enough, of why he's not the right person. And God kept on telling him, listen, you have all the right stuff. And that's me in a way. I can relate to it in so many ways where I went into an imposter syndrome where you felt like I needed to overwork in order to validate the reason why I should speak. And yet at the same time overshadowing the very things that I've already achieved in the first place. And always focus on kind of what I didn't have, always focus on what I couldn't achieve. And yet Moses was such an accomplished, he accomplished so many things. And that's essentially one of the main stories that really helped me to process the fact that he had a vision, he had a purpose. And we will go into like, kind of the concluding remarks, or at least the undertone of what it means, what the story means to me. The second story, which comes back to now tech and MoloMolo tech, is Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is well known for creating the light bulb, but that's not really true. After doing some further research, Thomas Edison didn't create the light bulb. He just learned how to make it more efficient. He learned how to make it commercially viable. The light bulb that we have today, essentially the mechanism of lighting that we have today, is because of Thomas Edison. But Thomas Edison, even though he was an inventor with so many things, he did, the microphone, and he did a couple of others, failed. He failed. He was a poor student. And I was a poor student. I don't think I was in the top 10 or top 20 in any point in time after high school in varsity. I was average. I was average. I failed at some point. And that actually cemented the confidence and cemented the stuttering that essentially gave the need to really just not really want to move forward. But yet Thomas Edison, through his mom, he got taken out of school. The teachers basically said he's slow to learn. But yet his mom believed in him to try and keep on going, try and keep on learning. And more importantly, the light bulb that we have today came after tens of thousands of failed experiments. And basically, he has a famous quote that, he learned 10,000 ways of what didn't work in order for him to find what worked. And that is such a refreshing thought. But that is also just such a reflection on me, because when I realize that I have a purpose, and that purpose meaning that I just wanna give the world the best of me. I wanna try and provide more than just for myself and my family, but be an example for young kids, and be an example for young Africans, and be an example for just my peers around me in terms of common sense and just mindset. Then all of a sudden, failure is just an experiment. Failure is just a way of getting to the goal. Failure is just a way of understanding what doesn't work, because you're getting closer to what works. And that was so kind of just such a story like that really reminds me of the fact that you gotta fail forward. The ability to stutter and to move on from your stuttering is just an ability to fail forward. Now, one can really go through it and really understand that if you don't fail forward, you just stand still. If you stand still, you're not able to move forward. And one should really remember that. And so my advice to all of you and to myself was that you gotta really look at it from that perspective. I encourage every single one of you to really think about what does it mean to speak to someone. And I want to give some practicals from these two examples. One thing that I do is I learned to speak to myself all the time. Speak to yourself in the mirror. It might sound crazy, but it's a controlled environment where you can fail forward. You have an ability to kind of see yourself for what you are and be honest with yourself. And that mirror exercise is a very good kind of, way to check yourself. But the most important part for me was find a reference. Moses, Thomas Edison, Trevor Noah, whoever it is, I love Trevor Noah. That's why I mention him. Is find a reference that helps you to see, man, this is a great orator. This is a great person who speaks, who commands an audience, who's able to capture people, able to capture their attention, and really mimic that. Because in those people, there's qualities of what it means to communicate. There's qualities of what it means to slow down your speech, slow down your heartbeat, slow down what you have to say, slow down your mind, and be able to project yourself and your ideas forward. So I really hope this has been such an amazing value for you, as it's been for me to reflect. There are birds above me, right above. So it's just amazing to be here in Africa again, in South Africa, just with my family and friends, and just reflect on what it means, the journey, what it was 20, 30 years ago, and where I am today, and just how much we are able to just move forward, stumble forward, and experiment and see failure as an experiment, knowing that you have a resilient purpose through that whole process that propels you forward. I hope this has been helpful. I'm Dr. PK from South Africa. This was another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories. I'll see you next time. Ciao.